Hello, and welcome to Daily English Whisper. Take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and just arrive here for a moment. My name is Max, and I'm really glad you are here with me today, because today's episode is very special. It is called Think in English All Day, Listening and Shadowing. And this episode will help you do something many learners want, but don't know how to start. Think in English naturally, not only in class, not only when you study, but during your day, in small moments, in real life, without pressure. Now maybe you feel like this. I understand English, but I still translate. I hear English, but my mind goes back to my language. I want to think in English, but I don't know how. Or maybe when you try to think in English, your mind becomes slow, empty, or confused. If this happens, it's normal. Really, it's very normal, because your brain has a habit. It has used your first language for many years. So, of course, it goes there first. But here is something important. You don't need to fight your brain. You don't need to force English. You just need to train it slowly, gently, every day. And today, we will begin that training together. Now, let me tell you something very important. Many people think, to think in English, I need a big vocabulary. I need to know many grammar rules. I need to speak fast. But that is not true. Thinking in English starts with something much simpler. Simple thoughts in simple sentences. Not complex ideas, not long explanations, just small, clear thoughts, like, I'm tired, I need water, this is interesting, I forgot something. That is how thinking begins. And then, step by step, it grows. So today, I want to give you one powerful idea. Listen carefully. Thinking in English is a daily habit, not a special moment. Not something you do once, but something you repeat many times in small ways. Like breathing, like walking, like checking your phone. And in this episode, I will guide you slowly, calmly, step by step. You will listen, you will repeat, and you will begin to think in English. Not perfectly, but naturally. And by the end, I want you to feel something new. Not pressure, not stress, but a quiet feeling. I can do this. Because you can. You just need the right way. And today, we start. Now, let me ask you a simple question. When you try to think in English, what happens inside your mind? Do you translate first? Do you stop and search for words? Or maybe nothing comes, just silence. If that happens, don't worry. That is exactly why we are here. So, what is the method we will use today? It is a mix of two things. Thinking plus shadowing. Very simple. You listen to a sentence, you repeat it, and then you try to think it again by yourself. This is powerful because you are not only copying English, you are starting to create English inside your mind. Let me explain this in a very easy way. Most learners do this. First, they think in their language. Then, they translate. Then, they try to speak. This is slow, and it creates stress. But today, we change that. We go directly to English, not with long ideas, but with small, clear thoughts, like, I need to sit down. This feels strange. I don't understand this. These are real thoughts, simple thoughts, and your brain can learn them. Now, let's try a small practice together. Don't worry about being perfect. Just follow. Listen first. I need a moment to think. Now, repeat after me. I need a moment to think. Good. Now, one more time. A little more natural. I need a moment to think. Nice. Now, here is the important part. Close your eyes for 1 second, if you can, and think this sentence in your mind. I need a moment to think. Don't say it. Just think it. Good. That is thinking in English. Not complicated, not fast, just clear. Now, let's try another one. Listen. This feels different today. Now, repeat. This feels different today. Good. Again. This feels different today. Nice. Now, think it inside your mind. This feels different today. Very good. You see what we are doing? We are training your brain step by step. First you hear, then you speak, then you think, and slowly thinking becomes easier. Now, maybe you feel it's still slow. That's okay. Slow is good, because slow means you are building correctly. You are not skipping steps. You are creating a strong base. So remember this. You don't need many words. You just need a few sentences that you can use again and again. That is how thinking grows. Now, keep this in your mind as we continue. Small thoughts, repeated often, become natural thinking, and we will keep building this together. Now, let's move into the main question. How can you actually think in English during your real day? Not only here, not only when you listen to this episode, but outside, in your normal life. Because maybe you feel like this. I understand now, but later I forget. I try, but I go back to my language. I don't know when to use English in my day. These are very common thoughts. But listen carefully. You don't need a perfect system. You don't need a special time. You don't need to change your whole routine. You just need to use English in small, real moments. That is the key. So here is the main idea for this part. How do you take English from this podcast into your real life? The answer is simple. You use it in moments that already exist. Not extra time, not new time, just moments that are already there. Let me show you. Imagine this. You are sitting, doing nothing for a few seconds, maybe waiting for something to load. Instead of silence, you think, I'm waiting for this to finish. That's it, a small thought. Now, imagine another moment. You are walking somewhere. You don't need to say a full paragraph. You just think, I'm walking a little slower today, Or maybe, the street feels quieter right now. These are simple thoughts, but they are real, and that is what matters. So today, we will go through a few simple ways you can use English inside your normal life. Not in a perfect life, in your real life, with your real routine. Because thinking in English is not about effort, it is about frequency. Many small moments every day. So, as we continue, I want you to stay relaxed. You don't need to remember everything. Just notice the idea. And if this is already helping you, even a little, take a second to like the video. It helps this space grow and reach more learners like you. All right, now let's begin with the first way. And this one is very simple but very powerful. Way number 1. Describe what is happening right now. This is one of the easiest ways to start thinking in English, because you don't need imagination, you don't need new ideas, you just describe what is already there, what you see, what you feel, what you are doing. Very simple, very real. Now imagine this moment. You are sitting somewhere, maybe on a chair, maybe on a sofa, maybe at a desk. You can think, I'm sitting here for a moment. Listen, I'm sitting here for a moment. Now, repeat, I'm sitting here for a moment. Good. Now, think it quietly in your mind. I'm sitting here for a moment. Nice. Now imagine something slightly different. You are holding your phone. You can think, I'm looking at my phone again. Listen, I'm looking at my phone again. Now repeat, I'm looking at my phone again. Good. Now think it silently. I'm looking at my phone again. Very good. You see? These are not special sentences, they are normal. But this is exactly what you need, because thinking in English starts with your present moment. Now imagine you are drinking something, not just coffee, maybe water, maybe tea, maybe something cold. You can think, this drink feels refreshing. Listen, this drink feels refreshing. Now repeat, this drink feels refreshing. Good. Now think it. This drink feels refreshing. Nice. Now, one more example. You are listening to a sound, maybe a fan, maybe traffic, maybe a quiet room. You can think, I can hear a soft sound in the background. Listen, I can hear a soft sound in the background. Now repeat, I can hear a soft sound in the background. Very good. Now think it. I can hear a soft sound in the background. Perfect. Now, notice something important. You are not translating. You are not building long sentences. You are just noticing and describing. And this is how thinking begins. Not with big ideas, but with awareness. So during your day, try this. When you notice something, say it in English, quietly, simply, even one sentence is enough. Because every time you do this, you are telling your brain, English belongs in this moment. And slowly, your brain starts to believe it. Even a few seconds help. You are building something real. Now, let's continue with another very helpful way. Way number 2. Think in short reactions. This is powerful because real thinking is often very short. In daily life, we do not always think in long sentences. Sometimes we just react very quickly, very simply. And this is good news for you, because it means you do not need difficult English to think in English. You just need natural reactions. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine this. You open a drawer, and what you need is not there. Your thought can be, "It's not here. Listen, it's not here. Now, repeat, it's not here. Good. Now think it silently. It's not here. Nice." Or maybe you finally find the thing you were looking for. You can think, "There it is. Listen, there it is. Now repeat, there it is. Good. Now think it. There it is. Very nice." Now imagine another moment. You touch something, and it is colder than you expected. You can think, "That's colder than I thought." Listen, "That's colder than I thought." Now, repeat, "That's colder than I thought." Good. Now, think it quietly. "That's colder than I thought." Excellent. Or maybe something surprises you a little, not in a big dramatic way, just a small surprise. You can think, "I didn't expect that." Listen, "I didn't expect that." Now repeat, "I didn't expect that." Good. Now think it. "I didn't expect that." Very good. You see what we are doing? We are training your mind to react in English, not to prepare a speech, not to build a perfect answer, just to react. And that matters, because daily thinking is full of reactions. Small reactions, quiet reactions, real reactions. Now let's try a few more. Imagine your bag feels heavier than usual. You think, "This feels heavier today." Listen, "This feels heavier today." Now repeat, "This feels heavier today." Good. Now think it silently. "This feels heavier today." Nice. Or maybe you arrive somewhere and the space feels different. You can think, "This place feels more crowded today." Listen, "This place feels more crowded today." Now repeat, "This place feels more crowded today." Good. Now think it. "This place feels more crowded today." Very good. And here is something important. Do not worry if your thoughts are simple. Simple is exactly right. Simple thoughts are fast. Simple thoughts are useful. Simple thoughts are repeatable. And repeatable thoughts become habits. So during your day, practice small reactions. When something surprises you, name it. When something feels different, name it. When something is missing, name it. Just one sentence. Just one quick thought. That is enough. And every time you do this, you make English a little faster inside your mind. You make it a little more natural. You make it a little more yours. Even a few seconds help. You are improving more than you think. Now, let's move to another very important way. Way number 3. Ask yourself simple questions in English. This is powerful because thinking is not only statements, thinking is also questions. In fact, your mind asks questions all day, small ones, quiet ones, like, "What am I doing? Where did I put that? Why is this like this?" So instead of asking these questions in your language, you start asking them in English. Very simple, very natural. Let me show you. Imagine this moment. You stop for a second and you are not sure what to do next. You can ask, "What should I do now?" Listen, "What should I do now?" Now. Repeat, "What should I do now?" Good. Now think it silently. What should I do now? Nice. Now imagine another moment. You are looking for something. Maybe your keys, maybe your charger, maybe something small. You can ask, "Where did I leave it?" Listen, "Where did I leave it?" Now, repeat, "Where did I leave it?" Good. Now think it. "Where did I leave it?" Very good. Now another situation. You are reading something or listening to something and you are not sure. You can ask, "Do I understand this?" Listen, "Do I understand this?" Now repeat, "Do I understand this?" Good. Now think it. "Do I understand this?" Nice. Now imagine something a little different. You feel something, but you are not sure how to explain it. You can ask, "Why do I feel like this?" Listen, "Why do I feel like this?" Now repeat, "Why do I feel like this?" Good. Now think it. "Why do I feel like this?" Very nice. You see, these questions are simple, but they are real. And when you ask questions in English, your brain starts to stay longer in English. It doesn't jump back so quickly, it stays. And this is very important, because thinking in English is not about speed. It is about time inside the language. The more time your brain stays in English, the more natural it becomes. Now, let's try one more. You are planning something small. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. You can ask, "What do I need first?" Listen, "What do I need first?" Now repeat, "What do I need first?" Good. Now think it. "What do I need first?" Excellent. Now, before we continue, I want to ask you something simple. Which question felt most natural to you? You can write it in the comments or just remember it, because that question can become part of your daily thinking. And stay with me until the end, because the next step will help you connect all of this into a simple daily habit you can actually keep. Now, let's move to the final main way. And this one is very powerful because it connects everything. Way number 4. Build a small daily thinking routine. Not something long, not something complicated. Just a few moments every day where you choose to think in English. Because if you only think in English sometimes, your brain will not build the habit. But if you do it every day, even for a short time, your brain starts to expect it. It becomes normal. So let me show you how this can look. Very simple, very real. Imagine your morning. You wake up slowly. Before you check your phone, before you stand up, you say one sentence in your mind. Something like, "I'm starting a new day." Listen, "I'm starting a new day." Now, repeat, "I'm starting a new day." Good. Now think it silently. "I'm starting a new day." Nice. This takes 3 seconds. But it changes something. You begin your day in English. Now imagine another moment. Later, maybe when you are doing something simple. Maybe brushing your teeth. maybe preparing something. You can think, I'm doing this step by step. Listen, I'm doing this step by step. Now repeat. I'm doing this step by step. Good. Now think it. I'm doing this step by step. Very nice. Now another moment. You stop for a second during your day. Maybe you feel a little tired or distracted. You can think, I need a short pause. Listen. I need a short pause. Now repeat. I need a short pause. Good. Now think it. I need a short pause. Very good. Now, one more. At the end of your day, before you sleep, you can think one simple reflection. Something like, today was not perfect, but I tried. Listen. Today was not perfect, but I tried. Now repeat. Today was not perfect, but I tried. Good. Now think it. Today was not perfect, but I tried. Excellent. You see what we are doing? We are creating small anchors in your day. Morning, middle of the day, end of the day. Just a few seconds each time. But these moments build a habit, and habits create identity. You stop being someone who tries to think in English, and you become someone who naturally uses English every day. And this is the key. Not effort, but repetition. Not long practice, but consistent contact. So start small, very small. Just one moment in the morning, then maybe one more later. And slowly your brain will follow, because your brain learns from what you repeat. And when you repeat English daily, it becomes part of you. Now, let's make this even easier and more real for your daily life. Because sometimes when we hear build a habit, it can feel big. It can feel like work. But here we keep it small, very small. We use micro actions, tiny moments that already exist in your day. Let's walk through them slowly. Imagine this. You unlock your phone. Before you open anything, you pause for 1 second and you think, what do I want to check? Listen. What do I want to check? Now, repeat. What do I want to check? Good. Now, think it silently. What do I want to check? Nice. That's it. 1 second. But now, English is in your moment. Now, another micro moment. You are about to leave a place. Maybe your room, maybe your house, maybe a quiet space. You can think, I'm about to leave now. Listen. I'm about to leave now. Now repeat. I'm about to leave now. Good. Now think it. I'm about to leave. Now. Very nice. Now imagine something different. You notice your body. Maybe you feel a little tired or a little low energy. You can think, I feel a bit tired right now. Listen. I feel a bit tired right now. Now repeat. I feel a bit tired right now. Good. Now think it. I feel a bit tired right now. Very good. Now one more. You look around and something catches your attention. Not something big, just a small detail. You can think, that's interesting. Listen. That's interesting. Now repeat. That's interesting. Good. Now think it. That's interesting. Nice. You see? These are not study exercises, these are real thoughts, and they fit into your life naturally. Now imagine one more small moment. You finish something, not a big task, just something simple, and you think, that's enough for now. Listen, that's enough for now. Now repeat, that's enough for now. Good. Now think it. That's enough for now. Excellent. Now, notice something important. All of these micro actions are short, simple, real, repeatable. And that is exactly what your brain needs. Because your brain learns from repetition, not intensity. So you don't need long sessions. You need many small contacts. Again, and again, and again, and slowly. Thinking in English becomes automatic, not forced, not stressful, just natural. So today, choose one of these moments, just one, and use English there. That is enough. Because one small action repeated tomorrow becomes a habit, and that habit becomes part of you. And now, let's bring everything together. Take a slow breath and just notice what you did today. You didn't just listen, you didn't just repeat, you started to think in English. Maybe slowly, maybe not perfectly, but you started, and that matters. Now, here is the main idea of this episode. Very simple, very important. Thinking in English is built in small moments, repeated every day. Not in long study sessions, not in perfect situations, but in your real life. So here is your secret sentence for today. Listen carefully. I use simple thoughts in English, and they grow every day. Now, repeat. I use simple thoughts in English, and they grow every day. Again, slowly. I use simple thoughts in English, and they grow every day. Very good. This is your anchor. Now imagine your day again. You wake up and you think one sentence. You notice something and you describe it. You react to something small in English. You ask yourself a simple question. You pause and you think one clear idea. These are not big actions, but they change your mind slowly, quietly, powerfully, because over time, your brain stops asking, how do I translate this? And starts feeling, this is already in English. That is the shift. That is the moment when thinking becomes natural. And I want to tell you something important. You don't need to do everything. You don't need 10 sentences a day. You just need one moment, one thought, one simple sentence. And tomorrow, maybe two. And that is progress. So be patient, be kind to yourself, and keep your practice small but consistent, because consistency creates confidence, and confidence creates fluency. If this episode helped you, even a little, subscribe to Daily English Whisper and continue this journey with me. There are many more calm, simple lessons waiting for you, and I will be here, guiding you step by step. I am Max, and I'm proud of you. because today you didn't just learn English, you started to live in it. A little more, slowly, calmly, every day. See you in the next episode.